Welcome to this Maundy Thursday meditation. The word Maundy comes from the Latin mandatum, which means commandment. It refers to Jesus giving his followers the commandment to love one another as he had loved them after he had washed their feet, a task that would have been carried out by servants in the household. You are invited to set time aside to listen reflectively to the story and the poetic meditations and the music, and be aware of what stands out for you. Listen for whatever is most meaningful for you.
Just before the Passover festival began, Jesus gathered with his disciples to share dinner. From beginning to end, his days were marked by love for all people, and this night, Jesus wanted to make sure the disciples understood this. In the midst of this, the adversary had filled the heart of one of the disciples named Judas Iscariot with plans of deceit and betrayal. Before they ate, Jesus got up from the table, set aside his outer garments, and wrapped a cloth around himself. He poured water into a basin and began to wash the dusty feet of the disciples, drying them with the cloth. When he got to Simon Peter, Peter said, "Master, you washing my feet?" Jesus answered, "You don't understand now what I'm doing, but it will be clear enough for you later." Peter persisted, "You are not going to wash my feet, ever." Jesus said, "If I don't wash you, you can't be part of what I'm doing." "Master," said Peter, "not only my feet then, wash my hands, wash my head." After Jesus had finished washing everyone's feet, he put his outer garments back on and went back to his place at the table. Then he said, "Do you understand what I have done? You address me as teacher and master. That is what I am. So if I, the master and teacher, washed your feet, you must now wash each other's feet. What I've done, you need to do. If you understand what I'm telling you, act like it, and live a blessed life.
Jesus poured water into a basin to wash, to bless, to create something new, to reveal the servanthood that shapes the heart of discipleship. Living waters washing over us with compassion, naming us as beloved in every beginning, in every moment. The Spirit of God still sweeps over the waters, ever creating, and calls us to wash the dust of despair and division from the feet of our sisters and our brothers.
During the meal, Jesus took and blessed the bread, broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "This is my body, given for you. Remember me as you share it." He did the same with the cup after supper, saying, "This cup, which is poured out for you, is the new covenant in my blood. Remember me as you share it." He continued, "I am with you for only a short time longer, and I want to give you a new command. Love one another. In the same way I loved you, you love one another. This is how everyone will recognize that you are my followers, when they see the love you have for each other."
Remember me, Jesus said. Around the table, followers share a simple meal. There was grace in that bread and wine. There was a promise that revealed itself as their hunger subsided. Many branches of the one life-giving vine, all connected, broken and whole, all at the same time, filling them and us with the courage needed for a revolutionary love.
Several days earlier, one of the 12, the one named Judas Iscariot, went to the religious authorities and said, "What will you give me if I hand Jesus over to you?" They settled on 30 silver pieces. From that time on, Judas began looking for just the right moment to hand him over. During the meal that they shared, Jesus said, "I have something hard but important to say to you. One of you will betray me." The disciples were stunned and began to ask one after another, "It isn't me, is it?" Jesus answered, "The one who hands me over is someone I eat with daily, one who passes food to me at the table." Then Judas said, "Surely you don't mean me, Rabbi?" Jesus answered, "You have said so." And Judas left.
One of you will betray me. First, shock, then silence. Who is it? Fear spills out like a scattering of silver coins. The sharp edge of each choice made, Jesus' words echo around them. Where your treasure is, there your heart is also.
Following the meal, Jesus went with his followers to a place called Gethsemane and said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." Jesus began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow. Stay here and keep watch with me." Jesus knelt down and prayed, "If it is possible, take this cup from me." He prayed on all the harder. Sweat poured off his face.
If it is possible, take this cup away from me. While friends slept, Jesus struggled, prayed. Prayer had strengthened him to speak truth to power, and power wasn't interested. Now among twisted trees, long hours of prayer, and a road ahead where suffering was certain.
When Jesus got up from prayer and went back to the disciples, he found them asleep. He said to them, "Are you asleep? Rise, let us go. The hour has come. Here comes my betrayer." While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and he kissed him. The men immediately stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. And his disciples deserted him and ran away.
We are followers of Jesus. Following him even when he moves toward the cross, even as he wraps a cloth around his waist, even as he kneels to wash the dirt from the feet of his friends. We are followers of Jesus, longing to be faithful even as the night grows dark, even as betrayers loom, even as the powers that oppose the way of Christ press in around us. We are followers of Jesus, learning to love even as Jesus loved us. For this is Jesus' word to us. Love is how faith is revealed. May we go in peace and do what Jesus has asked of us.